What about someone that has cancer? Well, if someone has cancer, conquering cancer I call it, no fruit for 6 weeks. And sometimes this program is called the sledgehammer program because it's designed to give a sledgehammer approach to cancer, to really knock it out. Dr. Otto Warburg in the 40s got a Nobel Prize for proving that cancer loves an environment with high sugar and no oxygen, and there's a part of your cell that runs like that. Let's go to the CBD, and I'll be pursuing this more in other lectures. Once the glucose goes into the body, there's a 20-step pathway, and this 20-step pathway that processes the glucose gives 2 units of energy, and it's an anaerobic. Anaerobic means no oxygen. Now, the end result of the 20-step pathway produces a chemical form of glucose called pyruvate, and pyruvate gets fed into what's called the powerhouse because the 8-step pathway gives us 36 units of energy. And this is the aerobic pathway, meaning the oxygen pathway. Now, this 20-step pathway is very fast. It consumes huge amounts of glucose, and this is where a cancer cell runs. No oxygen, lots of sugar. When this pathway is being used, and this is a slow pathway, it uses a lot of oxygen, and it can run without high sugar because it takes a little while to get down there. Can you see that? Everything we eat has sugar, everything we eat, but the high fruit, high sugars. One lady said to me, I know what was feeding my cancer. She said, I used to make pavlovas for church. 16 cups of white sugar in a pavlova that big. Think of that next time someone offers you a slice of pavlova. Eat the fruit on top. So this is what Dr. Otto Warburg got a Nobel Prize for, showing that cancer cells basically are running up here. So you give a cancer cell lots of sugar, even a high fruit diet, it's just going to feed it. Cancer cannot live in the presence of oxygen. That's what Dr. Otto Warburg discovered. Now, check it out in the anatomy and physiology books. This is the glycolytic pathway. And the glycolytic pathway is an important pathway because that produces the fuel needed for the 8-step pathway. But if a lot of sugar's going in and no oxygen, can you see that this is just where it can stay running? And so to starve the cancer, cut out all the sugar, cut out all the yeast, and no fruit for 6 weeks. Now, because the person's eating a lot of vegetables, legumes, nuts, seeds, they're getting the fuel for the cell to run down there. That's how it should run. One lady said, but Barbara, fruit's good. I said, it's fantastic. But if a person's got cancer, they need to drastically reduce that for a period of time. What happens after 6 weeks? Then after 6 weeks, they go on what I call stage 1 antifungal diet. They can start eating grapefruit, Granny Smith apples. They also go very low, which I'll cover when I look at diabetes. Excuse me. They go very low on the carbohydrates. But they can have lots of dal, legumes, lots of vegetables, nuts and seeds.